Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the MaxCD Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre. We're going to start it off the same way we started off every day, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, and the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
Whatty up, boss? Welcome to the MaxCD Morning Show.
Hey everybody, Keith Simpson here from Norel Toyota. We support the Oil Barons. We've joined the drive-in movie theater. We're involved in the marathon here in Fort McMurray, and that's what makes this community such an amazing place to live.
All right, and we're back. Big shout out to Norel Toyota, title sponsor for this show. Keith, Fad, Nimmer, all the boys and girls down at Norel, thank you very much for supporting us. We really do appreciate it. On that note, let's begin with the show. So you do know I don't introduce my guests because they can do a better job than I. So can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
Yeah, my name's Keegan Kuhr. I'm born and raised in Fort McMurray. Well, can't really say born. I was born in Edmonton, but moved here when I was 6 months old. So I pretty much consider that born and raised. That's
definitely.
as you can get. I currently work at Keyano College as the Huskies development coordinator and the head men's volleyball coach. And I've been there for 10 years and going on. And I've been going into my 10th season as the head coach of the men's volleyball team. And it's been great so far. So thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
So volleyball, Fort McMurray, we spoke a little bit before the show started. What was that like over the last year or two with all of the restrictions, and how were you able to kind of keep your team strong and going during that timeline?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was something that we all went through, whether it was a sports-based thing or a personal-based thing. I think for us, I just try to keep the guys motivated. I try to find things that we could keep doing. Of course, when our season was canceled a couple of years ago, we did obviously lose guys. They left to work and all that stuff, and I totally respect that choice. And it was unfortunate because I really liked the team that we had, and it's unfortunate we didn't get to see what we could have done. But yeah, and even this year there was definitely some challenges that COVID presented, but. Glass half full, very thankful, that we were still able to play. We were still able to get through a season. I don't think myself and the boys would have been happy with how it ended, but I think at the end of the day, when you kind of get some time to reflect and think about it, we were just, happy we got to do something we loved for the majority of the year and didn't have too many interruptions within the season, so that was good.
Nice. Now, there's something that I've always been fascinated with sports teams for colleges is the recruitment process. Now, I understand, let's call it the NBA, for example. When you're in the NBA, you can look at the different college basketball teams. You can watch game footage, so you can kind of have an idea of who you're trying to draft. But when you're at the college level, they're coming from high schools. There's no way you're watching all these high school games. How do you hear about these players? How do you decide this is somebody that I'd like to get, or is it all totally based on hopefully they hear about Keyano and want to register here? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, I like to obviously just check on our local athletes, check on the what's going on in the community of Wood Buffalo and in Fort McMurray, and Thunder, the volleyball club in town, has been doing a great job. So I definitely kind of start there and kind of see who's around, and if they want us to stick around in Fort McMurray for a couple more years and come up to college, that's great. And yeah, I mean it's crazy the new age technology that we have. A lot of these new younger guys, they have Instagram accounts dedicated directly to their volleyball.
Right.
And there's a lot of club, once high school's done, sometimes, it's personal. They send emails and we do like that. There's guys that have started, programs where, I know a guy out of Manitoba, he has literally just a website dedicated to helping players get recruited from all over Canada out of Manitoba. So that's a pretty wicked website to go on and just kind of see who's signed and who's available, and it has their positions and program interest. It's a really, really good system he's got going there. And I mean, whether it's I go to the club tournaments or I'm watching YouTube or I'm jumping on Instagram or they know a player on my team. I mean, I think recruiting is kind of taking on its own unique aspect with all the different ways that you can recruit.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it's forever changing. I like to get out and try and watch players, but I have a young family now, and it gets a little bit tougher to get on the road, after
Right.
a long season. So
That's right.
I'm happy for these other ways to kind of watch video, talk to guys via Instagram or text message, and kind of recruit that way as well. So yeah, it's been forever changing. I think we all learned in a positive way, with COVID, that we do have really good options in terms of technology to be heard all over the world. So
Yeah, it's I never thought about that, but yeah, no doubt. Like you have athletes self-promoting themselves on platforms where you could literally like use the hashtags on Instagram or YouTube to like soccer, high school, boom, yeah, that would totally be at your disposal. Wow, that's neat. Okay. Now, in regards to Keyano, I went to Keyano for a little while myself, and the one cool thing about Keyano for a local that I was aware of back in the day was the opportunities for scholarships, may it be with good grades or if you were an athlete. And they were phenomenal. It's been many, many years since I've attended Keyano College. Are some of those programs and subsidies still available for athletes? And
yeah, I mean, for athletes, and students in general, there is, like you said, like as a Fort McMurrayite, if you come into Keyano, there is definitely some incentives to stay within the community, and there is scholarships available whether you're an athlete or not. And there is tons. Keyano is still very, we're very thankful. There's still lots of scholarship opportunities, and I do push a lot of my guys to apply for extra scholarships. But yeah, we're still pretty lucky to have scholarships available to us to help support our athletics programs, and we're obviously very thankful for that. We bring in guys from all over Canada and kind of different countries as well. So yeah, we're very thankful that we still have those scholarships, and it's really important because I think that's what keeps us all competitive and being able to offer some scholarships to those guys. So
now, when it comes to accommodations, it used to be called the Purple Palace.
Yeah.
You could stay there. Then they had like a bunch of residencies down on Franklin Avenue, which I don't think are even opened anymore. It looks like that whole area is kind of shut down for renovation. And then you guys had some accommodations like right behind the Sports and Wellness Center. So if you are an athlete coming who isn't from Fort McMurray, how do they find accommodations? Do they stay in those areas still, or what does that all look like?
yeah, so the Purple Palace is still the Purple Palace.
Okay,
which
cool.
is it is still pretty cool, and they did a bunch of renovations. I think there was like $3 million worth of renovations in there, so it looks awesome. But they kept the building purple, which I think is pretty cool.
Me too.
So I'm happy that it stayed the purple and still called the Purple Palace. But yeah, those that's kind of the first option. You see a lot of younger guys going in there. We try and put them in. They're in pods of 6, and we try and put them together with their teammates, and it just works. They all kind of mostly are on the same schedule, at least for the athletic side of things. And obviously school, they're kind of in and out. And yeah, as you get older, there is now the option to go over to Penhorowood, which is the area you were talking about that's just across from the Synchro Sports and Wellness Center.
Right.
Those are beautiful townhouses, 3 to 2 bedroom. They have family options as well if you have a young family. So yeah, a lot of our guys right now are actually over in Penhorowood in those townhouses, and they love it. The opportunity to have basically a house at that young age for a fair price, I feel is it's pretty good. So yeah, you see those options. Yeah, as for Rydell, I know they're doing some work on it. I don't think they're available to athletes, but I think they're trying to work through, like you said, some renovations and get that all figured out so we can hopefully make that available for students. And
Yeah, I thought that both that area and, like you said, the Penhora, like it's a cool option. I know when I went to school, there's no way at that age you're living in a house.
Yeah,
like there's no way.
Yeah.
And so just having that as an option is like super cool. So listen, my man, I got a signal from Tan a little while ago that he's ready for his segment. It's called the MaxCD Minute. But before we jump into that, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor for this segment, MIB Moving. They are the best. They help us move into our new location. True professionals. Me and Tanner didn't have to lift a finger, so big shout out to MIB. Now on with the MaxCD Minute. Tanner, you are up.
Alrighty, question number 1. What is the most memorable moment in sports that you can remember seeing?
Most memorable moment in sports. His own sports or
Any sport.
any
Your own
sport.
sport, Keano's sport, your childhood baseball game.
I mean, I think if if I'm focusing on a sport that I was maybe coaching, we won, the ACAC championships in 2018, 2019. That was pretty special to be able to win a title. You dream every year, or you plan every year to try and win it, and when you finally are able to accomplish that, there's a picture of me on Facebook, just two hands in the air, just big smile. Didn't cheer as much as I thought I would. It was just kind of like, oh, we did it. This is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I think that's as a coach with Keyano, that was kind of one of my best moments. Yeah.
Question number 2. What is it like to work with people from all over the world playing sports?
That's a great question. I think, it's awesome. I think it is tough sometimes, just culturally. Just the way some cultures play sports is very different, especially in the sport of volleyball. I've brought some Brazilians here before, and they're very intense and they're tough. And if you watch a national team, they're very intense and tough. And it's kind of tough to speak to those guys and say, hey, I get where you come from. I don't want you to become someone you're not. But that doesn't necessarily work in Canada, or we need kind of a little bit more here. So, I think, that type of, it's always, I guess, fun and challenging to get guys, into the culture, into what we're trying to accomplish here. And it becomes, I wouldn't say more difficult, but it becomes interesting with, not only just Canadians, but, Brazilians and guys from Poland and all over. So,
Yeah. Cool.
Question number 3. What is your go-to way to celebrate a win with your team?
Love that. Good question.
That is a good question. Well, we do have players of the game, and so basically when guys get players of the game, they get something, and usually what happens is they kind of throw it, into the group, and we all kind of celebrate and cheer, and so that's something simple that we do, like a win song or something like that when we crank it when we get on the bus or in the locker room. And I think just as soon as we're done the game, whether winning or losing, obviously it's better when we win, but just acknowledge the fans and all the people that came out to support us that day. Is pretty important, because if it wasn't for the fans, I don't know if we'd be here. So we're very thankful of that as well. So
There you go.
Question number 4. What is one amenity that Keyano offers that might surprise people?
good question. I just think the Secret Sports Wellness Center, I think it's a pretty phenomenal facility. I think there's a few. I know Red Deer built a new facility a couple of years ago, but I think the facility in itself, whether it's public or student, I think that building is still a pretty special thing that's available, to students, staff, athletes at Keyano College.
And your final question, if you could have your team play against any team to ever exist, who would you like to face?
Another good question. One of the I've always wanted to. There's a lot of teams. You got me stumped there.
Yeah.
Whether it's going down to the States and playing UCLA, I think would be pretty cool. Any Long Beach, Hawaii, just for that trip alone, going to Hawaii would be pretty cool. But if we're talking maybe a little unrealistic, hey, why not play some of the best teams in the world? Brazil would be pretty cool. I know I have current Brazil guys, so it'd be cool to play the Brazilian national team or the U21 team or the U19 team or the U18 team. But great question. There's a lot of teams that come to mind for sure. So.
Those have been your 5 questions.
There you go. So as far as athletes are concerned, or athletics, what did you play when you were growing up?
Yeah, I tried to play everything and anything and everything. I played a little bit of baseball, played some soccer, hockey, badminton. I ran, so cross country, track and field, all that type of stuff.
Right.
And then kind of when I went to Father Merck and grade 9. I know it's changed a little bit, but I kind of focused a little bit more on volleyball and basketball. And then as grade 10 hit, I was able to make both the basketball teams for the senior. So, I think my focus kind of transitioned, and I dropped some of the other sports. I did do a little bit of cross country during the volleyball season, and then a little bit of badminton and track towards the end of basketball season. But those were kind of my two main focuses as I grew up. And then my college career was just mainly focused around volleyball. I played 3 years at Keyano College, and then I went and played 2 years at SAIT, and I found my way back to Fort McMurray. So
Nice. So why volleyball? What about that sport really what bit you about that sport? What made you so engaged if you were having success in the other ones and enjoying them?
Yeah, I think just I was a setter, so the quote is always a setter similar to a quarterback. I think it was just fun to try and set, get my guys going, try and run an offense that that created one-on-ones, which is just one blocker that that's basically the whole goal of the game. And I think just there's so many aspects to volleyball that I really enjoy. I just think it's very technical and very tactical. The only sport that I can think of where you play to a certain point and then the score resets, because in our sport we play best of 5, and the score resets, so it doesn't matter if you win 25-0 or 25-23, right? You're back to 0-0, and I think that's always interesting, especially mentally. After whether you win big or you lose big, right? It doesn't really matter, right? You're back to 0, and you get to kind of go after that next set. So I think those are kind of the main things that really attracted me to the sport of volleyball and kept me hungry. And I was better at volleyball than basketball, so that was an easy choice to continue on with that. So
Okay. Now, just like this show, like it costs money to put on. Volleyball program costs money. So how can people help support the initiative of your volleyball team and get involved, so that you guys can be successful in recruiting and just staying relevant and existent in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to have a presence in the community of Fort McMurray. I think that's important. So, of course, we always appreciate donations. We do have an Adopt a Husky program that can, people can just go on and click and do that. And we're super grateful that anyone's able to do an Adopt a Husky for the men's volleyball team. But we're also willing to, if someone's willing to give a little bit of money and they want to put on an event, right? And they want the Huskies there, you know what I mean? Being able to have that footprint in the community, I think, is important as well. So we just don't want to, take money all the time. Of course, we're very thankful and happy that we can, take money and use it for exhibition and continue to grow our program and stay, as one of the top teams in the North and the top teams in the ACAC. But we're kind of open to anything, if you guys want, just an example, say a school wants to do a volleyball camp and they're willing to maybe donate a little bit of money. Hey, we'll come up and do that. If there's a community event that you need servers for, or you know what I mean, something like that. I'm kind of blanking a little bit on my ideas, but you know what I mean. A little give and take where it's not just always just give us some money. Team gear, right? If you kind of like the way we get a lot of Nike team gear. If that's kind of what you're into, you'd like a T-shirt, for a little bit of money. Okay, cool. We'll make sure we set you up with a T-shirt. Those types of things. Team pictures. If you Husky for a day, whatever. I have a lot of ideas, and that's kind of why I'm rambling on. But I just want to make sure that I think the community of Fort McMurray understands that we just don't want to take. We want to try and give back as well. We're always very thankful that anybody that is willing to give money and doesn't want anything back. I think that's what this community has been about since I've been here my whole life. So, but of course, and we'll take that. But also we want to have a presence. We want to give back. We want to help out. We want to be seen. All that type of stuff.
There you go. Well, listen, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do appreciate it. I got the tap from Tanner that we've hit our 20-minute mark. So, but I do want you to come back as many times as you want. I would love to have a bunch of your players on. Afterwards, I think you and I should talk about how we can help with the initiative that you were just chatting about to get more awareness, get more people involved, and create opportunities for people to support you guys more. So I'm looking forward to that conversation when the cameras turn off. So before I cut you loose, though, everybody gets a shameless shout out or plug. So you got the mic, the camera, the lights. Have fun.
Awesome. I think what you guys do is awesome. I've followed you from a distance for a long time, so I love stuff like this. I love seeing Fort McMurray being supported and having people on and just promoting what they're doing. I think it's awesome. So Good luck in your work, and thanks for
man.
having me part of that initiative. And I look forward to coming on again.
There we go. Sweet. Awesome. Well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, that's been another episode of the Max City Morning Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Big shout out to our sponsors today, Noral Toyota for being the key sponsor, and MIB for sponsoring the Max City Minute. We appreciate your support. I hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
What a deadly old way to end another morning show. Later, boss.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.